Okay, we're up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nicole Reese with the County Judge's Office. Thank you all for joining us today as our community leaders share with the public their plan to honor and remember all those who were tragically impacted on August 3rd, 2019. Speaking today, we will have Bishop Seitz, County Judge Samaniego, Mayor DiMargo, Consul General Mauricio Ibarra Ponce de Leon, Reverend Nicole Crouch with Interfaith Alliance of the Southwest, and Christina Lamore, Vice President of Community Impact for United Way of El Paso County. And so getting us started will be Bishop Seitz. Bishop, you want to go ahead?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank our County Judge, Ricardo Samaniego, and El Paso Mayor DiMargo, and all of today's speakers who are with me today to announce some of the events planned to mark the anniversary of the terrible tragedy that took place on August 3rd last year. I want to thank our judge and mayor in particular for the great spirit of collaboration they've brought to the table as we work to plan the events we are announcing today. August 3rd, 2019 is a day that will forever mark the collective memory of the El Paso and borderland community. The one-year anniversary will be another important step in the long process of healing of the 23 families who lost loved ones on that day, and for those who were wounded and their families. It will be a day in which traumatic memories rise to the surface for those who were present at the Cielo Vista Walmart on that morning, both staff and shoppers, for first responders and medical providers. For all of these, the wound is particularly deep and personal. But August 3rd is, in a broader sense, a day in which we all were attacked and we all were wounded. Our community, which is in one sense large, but in another sense like an extended family because of its cohesion, was traumatized on that day in a way which has changed our self-understanding. That day opened our eyes to the critical work we need to do to defend and strengthen the bonds of our loving and welcoming community. Our border community will not withdraw in fear, and we won't give in to the temptation to see others as threats. We will continue to offer hospitality, to welcome the stranger, and to celebrate the beautiful diversity that makes us special. We made the commitment in the days that immediately followed the mass shooting that we would not allow that act of racial hatred to be the last word. We see it as a call to turn to the divine who has loved us into being and placed goodness into our hearts, affirming our assurance that love and goodness will overcome every threat and our El Paso community will emerge even more united than before. Civic and religious leaders from our community, as well as many nonprofit organizations, are collaborating with the families of victims and with those who were wounded to mark the one-year anniversary. We are planning an event to be held in the evening of Sunday, August 2nd, which will include the groundbreaking of the county's Memorial Healing Garden, as well as an interfaith service of remembrance with those directly impacted by last year's tragedy. Because of social distancing, the event will be physically closed to the public, but we are working with local television networks to ensure that the service is broadcast so that as many people as possible in our community and across both the United States and Mexico can participate in this important event. At this time, I would like to turn over the screen to representatives who are working on various aspects of the events to mark the first anniversary of the El Paso mass shooting.
Thank you, Bishop. Next, we have County Judge Ricardo Samaniego.
Thank you, Nicole, and thank you, Bishop. As always, you've gone above and beyond to ensure the well-being of our community during our most challenging times. I would like to take the opportunity to thank all of our brave heroes who stepped forth on this terrible, tragic day. There are so many individuals who played a critical role on that day. At this time, I'd like to thank the Office of Emergency Management, United Way, the Consul General Mauricio Ibarra Ponce de Leon, Emergence Health Network, the El Paso Community Foundation, Paso del Norte Health Foundation, and our District Attorney Jaime Esparza and his entire team for their victim advocacy. And most important, our healthcare workers and our first responders who are immediately on the front lines. I'd like to offer a special thanks to each one of our county commissioners and their amazing staff for their valuable support. My heartfelt thanks to our Chief Administrator, Betsy Keller, and our Parks and Recreation team for their hard work, creativity, and compassion to bring this special project to fruition. As we approach our first year anniversary, we're reminded how our community came together during one of the most tragic and lasting events that our community had ever faced. As you are aware, we're now fighting another enemy that has unfortunately isolated us as a means to fight this insidious and relentless enemy. Although we have restrictions, we'll make every effort to display our sincerity and passion to memorialize this special occasion. We will endure with the same courage and boldness that our community showed on August 3rd. The county is looking forward to the groundbreaking of a community healing garden on August 2nd in conjunction with JR Construction. This will be followed by a service that will be introduced by Interfaith later on this program. Our hope is to create a beautiful place where we can all continue our search for our own individual and comfort and healing. Once completed, we will initiate activities such as meditation, yoga, and other opportunities to enhance the physical memorial, as well as enrich the individual healing process. On August 2nd and on the 3rd, the park will be open to public at 8:30 p.m. for a drive-through Luminaria Remembrance event. Christina Lamour will discuss further in the program. Fortunately, Escalante Parks lends itself for the community to be united, but in a safe way, in accordance with our current restrictions. There will be other thoughtful yet safe activities that will be organized for you to share and embrace on August 2nd and on August 3rd. These events commemorate the courage of our community. May these heartfelt efforts from all our partners provide some sense of comfort and a peace for all of us. Our prayers are with the families and everyone who was impacted on that day and who have to relive the nightmare of August 3rd and who are struggling to find some level of acceptance. More now than ever, the first anniversary will once again urge us to creatively unite and be El Paso strong.
Thank you, Judge. Speaking next will be Mayor DeMargo.
Thank you. August 3rd is still pretty raw for me. We had 46 individuals wounded and 23 perished. But in reality, I think our entire region was wounded. And then when I talk about our entire region, I'm talking about southern New Mexico and Mexico. We're a region that goes back 350 years. Most people don't understand that. We've had families, culture, commerce on both sides of the Rio Grande for 351 years. It's who we are, it's what we're about. And I said that I would never allow this evil act to define us. It will be part of our history, but it will be relegated as an asterisk to our history. It is not who we are. This evil white supremacist came from 700 miles away. And I am convinced that would have never occurred from anyone in our region. That's what makes us unique and special. And we want to honor the victims and their families. And we want to understand how we can come together once and for all and put this behind us and continue our healing process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Speaking next will be Consul General Mauricio Ibarra Ponce de Leon.
Consul, you are muted right now. You are
You're
muted.
muted, Mauricio.
Yeah, sorry. Gracias, I'll start in Spanish and then I'll translate in English. Pero primero que nada quiero agradecer la invitación del juez Ricardo Samaniego y del alcalde Di Margo a esta conferencia de prensa y reconozco la presencia de nuestro amigo el obispo Seitz, la reverenda Crouch y de Cristina Lamour en esta conferencia. Sin duda alguna, el 3 de agosto del 2019 marcó a esta comunidad binacional, especialmente a la diáspora mexicana en Estados Unidos, al ser una de las tragedias más grandes que ha tocado vivir a las y los mexicanos en territorio estadounidense. El gobierno de México en su momento condenó y condena decididamente el cobarde ataque perpetrado en contra de la comunidad en El Paso, Texas, el cual cobró la vida de 23 personas, incluyendo 9 mexicanos, y continúa reiterando a nivel nacional e internacional la importancia de combatir todas las expresiones de odio, de racismo y de xenofobia que siguen cobrando víctimas a nivel internacional. En ese sentido, estamos convencidos que este jardín de la sanación es una muestra de solidaridad y un mensaje de aliento de las autoridades y la comunidad paceña para las personas que resultaron heridas y para las familias de las víctimas. Estoy seguro que este jardín que será inaugurado brindará a la comunidad un espacio para sanar, a la vez que honra la memoria de los fallecidos. Quiero aprovechar esta oportunidad para informar a ustedes que como reconocimiento a la importancia que otorga el Gobierno de México a este aniversario en honor de las víctimas del 3 de agosto, el director general para América del Norte de la Secretaría de Relaciones Exteriores, Roberto Velasco, y la directora para Frontera Norte, Jimena Escobedo, nos acompañarán en la ceremonia oficial de este memorial y en una ceremonia de develación de una placa que tendremos aquí en el consulado en memoria de las víctimas. Finalmente, quiero reiterar el compromiso del Gobierno de México y del Consulado General de continuar protegiendo los derechos de las comunidades mexicanas en Estados Unidos. Gracias. With no doubt, August 3rd, 2019 left a big scar in this binational community, especially to the Mexican diaspora living in the U.S., as this hideous incident was one of the worst tragedies the Mexican community has had to face in the United States. The government of Mexico decisively condemned and continue condemning this cowardly act on El Paso's community, which resulted in 23 casualties, including 9 Mexican nationals, and also continue stressing domestically and internationally the importance of combating all hate-related speeches, racism, and xenophobia. In this regard, the Healing Garden that is going to be presented shortly is a token of solidarity and a message of encouragement and hope from the authorities and the community of El Paso to all injured individuals, as well as to the families of the fatal victims. I am sure this garden will provide the community with a healing space at the same time that it will honor the memory of all the victims. I would like to take this opportunity to inform all of you that as a recognition of the importance the government of Mexico gives to the anniversary honoring the 3rd of August victims, the Director General for North America of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Roberto Velasco, as well as the Director for the Northern Border Affairs, Jimena Escobedo, will be joining us for the official memorial ceremony, as well as for an unveiling of a plaque at the consulate in memory of the victims. Finally, I would like to reiterate the unwavering commitment of the government of Mexico, as well as the Consulate General of Mexico in El Paso, to continue protecting the rights of the Mexican community in the U.S. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Reverend Nicole Crouch with Interfaith Alliance of the Southwest.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Nicole. I am Reverend Nicole Crouch, and I'm here to represent the Interfaith Alliance of the Southwest, which is made up of faith leaders from Jewish, Muslim, Baha'i, Satya Sai Baba, Buddhist, and Christian traditions. And as a group, we come together across our differences to offer prayer and healing for our community. So we are honored to be working in collaboration on this memorial service for Sunday, August 2nd at Escarate Park. And after the groundbreaking ceremony at 7 p.m., we will move to our memorial service called Celebration of Life and Healing at 7:30. And as Bishop mentioned, unfortunately, due to COVID-19, this event will be closed to the public, but we are working to broadcast it so that everyone can see. The service will include time to recognize the victims of the August 3 shooting, both those who died and those who were wounded, as well as recognizing those who were present in the store and the first responders who were also present. Then our interfaith leaders will offer a prayer of healing for the families and for our community. We are centering the families in this service, and we have been in contact with them through the DA's office to get their input on this service. So thank you all for your time today, and I will turn it over to Christina from the United Way.
Good afternoon. Thank you. I'm honored to be part of this team. In the fall of last year, community leaders called upon our United Way to take the lead in the long-term recovery efforts following August 3rd. This led to the creation of the El Paso United Family Resiliency Center, a hub of resources and services to aid in the healing process. As the one-year mark nears, the Family Resiliency Center, as well as our partners, recognize the importance of uniting El Pasoans to honor those we lost and care for those deeply affected by the tragedy. With that in mind, together we carefully curated a series of community-wide activities and commemorative events under the banner, Together We Remember, Together We Heal. Working closely with the city, the county, and numerous other partners, our goal is to provide the community with access to a variety of opportunities for healing and reflection. Among the activities that community members can be a part of are two main calls to action. At 8:30 p.m. on August 2nd and 3rd, the public is invited to drive through a brightly lit Escarate Park, which will be lined with luminarias intended to allow guests to remember and reflect together, but safely at a distance. The Luminaria pathway will also include the sounds and melodies of local musicians spread across the park. The evening of August 3rd, El Pasoans can continue to pay their respects by placing a luminaria on their porch or front door. The day of August 3rd, we also call on El Pasoans to take a moment to act out a kind gesture for a friend, neighbor, or family member to assert our position of being a kind and caring community. Leading up to the day, we've also included events focused on mental well-being, including a virtual restorative yoga session, a healing through art activity for youth, and more. These opportunities by all of our partners, as well as numerous resources for mental health and other needs, can be found on our webpage, elpasounited.org/love4El Paso. Although these commemorative events are scheduled for the weeks leading to or on August 3rd, the El Paso United Family Resiliency Center continues to provide support and resources for those that may need it. This will be a tough time for us all. We encourage everyone to please prioritize your own mental health and that of your loved ones. If you need help, reach out. If you want to help, reach out. Together we remember, together we heal. Juntos sanamos. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Now we will be taking questions from our media partners who are currently on standby.
Okay, stand by. The first media entity is the one ending in 6681. You are up.
Hi, yes, this is Stephanie Shields of KTSM 9 News.
Go ahead.
Okay, hi. Yes, we're wondering, you know, if anything will be done to honor Memo Garcia. I know the Candelaria wasn't able to include him as of yet, but if you guys have any update on that.
We don't have that in mind, but I think that's a great observation, and we're still trying to gather feedback and information that will allow us to do what the community wants. And so that's thank you for that observation, and we'll follow up on that and see how we can integrate the feedback that we get from the community.
The families talk to me, and they do want recognition for Memo, especially after his 9 months of fighting. And it is unique and special. And we just haven't determined what they want to have done at this time, but it has been discussed.
Judge, isn't it the case that the Healing Garden will have a plaque for Memo as well as the other victims?
That is correct. Thank you, Bishop. That is correct.
Okay, great. And then just, is there, you know, any other plans for a memorial, or is this the only one? You know, we have the Candelaria at Walmart and the one at Escalante. Are those the only plans as far as the city and county is concerned?
I think, Christina, you might want to address that. I think you guys are doing some broader activities. Maybe you might want to address that particular question.
Yeah, we are doing a lot of activities. And as I mentioned earlier, a whole comprehensive list of those activities will be listed on our website immediately following this press conference. I do know that Walmart is planning a dedication of their memorial site as well, to include names and a plaque for that. That event is also closed off to families and to their associates at the Walmart location. So that is, again, not open to the public. So the whole list of activities will be listed on our website, and including all of the memorial sites as well.
And if I may add, as I mentioned, the Consulate General of Mexico will also unveil a plaque, and it will include the name as well of Guillermo Garcia, of course.
Okay, the next media entity ending in 7825. You are up.
Hi, my name is Stephanie
Go ahead.
Cordova with Univision 26. I just want to ask either the bishop or Ricardo Samaniego to please say a comment in Spanish in regards to what's going to be going on with the event on August 2nd.
Pues yo inicio, cónsul, ¿está bien? Sí, como ustedes saben, es algo muy importante. El primer aniversario para nosotros en esta comunidad es muy importante. Ustedes lo conocen cuando un ser querido pasa, y tenemos el primer año, lo importante que es para toda la comunidad. Estamos muy conscientes de hacer algo muy bonito, que va a ser va a haber un servicio y va a haber vamos a presentar el inicio de un memorial para la comunidad y para las víctimas y sus familias. Es muy importante, ¿verdad?, que tengamos en mente que como tenemos el virus y la situación, que estamos limitados, pero no vamos a hacer nada diferente a mostrar la pasión de nuestros socios y las organizaciones que están muy al frente de que quieren hacer algo muy, muy bonito. Es el fundamento del primer aniversario, va a ser el fundamento para el resto de la historia. Lo hacemos bien y va a ser un fundamento muy importante y muy claro de la pasión y lo que sentimos cada persona que vive aquí en El Paso y en Juárez y en esta región. Les agradecemos muchísimo esa participación, va a haber mucha información y actividades. A los luminarios va a ser algo muy bonito que va a ser de parte de United Way. que vamos a mostrar allí luces y sonidos de la comunidad que pueden ir en sus carros para poder gozar de algo tan bonito. Otra vez, muchísimas gracias a la comunidad. Sabemos lo que estamos sintiendo todos y va a ser una gran oportunidad de expresar y ser parte de esta sanación que es muy importante para cada uno de nosotros. Consul.
Gracias. Yo simplemente añadiría que obviamente el Consulado General de México va a ser parte de todos los eventos en los que podamos participar. Es una fecha en la que tenemos que honrar a todas las víctimas y es una fecha que efectivamente, como dice el juez Samaniego, tiene que ser para que la gente pueda sanar, pero tenemos que recordar a las víctimas. Desde un inicio, el canciller Marcelo Ebrard, cuando vino aquí a El Paso el 5 de agosto, 2 días después de la tragedia, afirmó que esto es un tema que nunca debemos de olvidar y nunca debemos de olvidarlo para que no vuelva a suceder algo como esto en ninguna otra ocasión. Gracias.
Okay, stand by. The next media entity, they end in 6681. You are up.
Hello? Hi, is this,
Yes,
can you guys hear me? Okay. Yes,
we can
it's
hear you.
Stephanie again with KTSM. One thing I wanted to ask was some of the victims reached out to me and said that families were able to give speeches, but that's no longer allowed. Can you guys comment on that? I know some of the victims' families wanted to, give a speech to the public.
I think, like we said, Stephanie, that we're still taking information and trying to do as much as we can that is related. We had Jaime Esparza reach out to the families, and they have so much contact with them that they were trying to reach out to see what was the best thing that we could do. One of the things that's very, very difficult is because of COVID-19, we were very limited in the number of people that we could have at the event. And so that makes it, that's been difficult. We'd love to have a lot more speakers, a lot more people get involved. It will be, during the day, so the heat is also another factor. So we are very limited in what we can and cannot do due to our own crisis with the virus. But once again, we're trying our best that the families feel that this is something that they would like to see. We've gotten a lot of feedback on the actual memorial and the activities, but we're still open for suggestions as we get to that incredible day of August 2nd, when we'll begin the ceremony and begin to go through this event in the best possible way. The family's feedback is always very, very important, and as well as the community in general and at large.
My office has been maintaining contact with the victims and their families since it happened, off and on throughout the last year, and we're open to anything that we need to talk about that. Judge Samaniego was correct on that, but a lot of them also were saying to us that they did not want to speak. So we'll do what makes sense for everyone to recognize and honor the victims, the families, and to provide healing for our community.
That is all the media questions that we received, the media inquiries.
Okay.
Nicole?
Thank you, Miguel. Thank you, everyone. This concludes today's press conference.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and all the participants, Bishop, Consulado, Christina, everybody else, Reverend Crouch. Hope I didn't miss anybody. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.